Hi, guys. I hope you're doing well, staying safe and sane during this crazy time. It's hard to not be with you. I miss you for sure, but it is for the best. So, I wanted to take a moment to make sure you understand everything that you have access to for our multi-genre project. And don't worry, I'm going to take you through the whole module and everything that you have access to. But every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, starting next week, I will have a daily agenda for you that tells you exactly what you should be working on that day. So don't let this overwhelm you. I just want to make sure you know what you have. That way, as soon as you're ready to move on to the next thing, you can if you want to. I know there are a bunch of you who like to work ahead. So if you go to our homepage for English 9 and click on modules, it'll take you to all of them, but the second one is where we want to be. The multi-genre project already has the video and handout that we've gone over together. There is a project calendar that you can look at whenever you're ready to do that. I will say all of the deadlines that I had set for you prior to break, things that were going to be due upcoming on the 14th, 15th, and 16th, those deadlines are going to stand. Although per district policy, you do have until Monday the 20th at noon to get those submitted. So I will not count them late as long as you have them in by then, but I strongly urge you to get them in our original deadline so that I've got time to give you some feedback before you move on to the next step. So make sure you take a look at all of that. There is an example of the project. We'll take a look at that too. Seeds of Inspiration you've already looked at, and there are the 3 links to the more recent articles that Mrs. Kixmiller had shared. This source collection document is what's due on Tuesday by 11:59. Many of you have asked me how to use EasyBib or Citation Machine for free, and that's the only view that I see. So if you aren't able to do that or figure it out, I do have a list here of common works cited entries that you can pull from and just use that as a template, and then you can write out your own full MLA citation. So do make sure that you get those on your source collection documents. The next thing that you're going to work on is the project discussion. I've seen that some of you have begun that already. If we take a quick look at that, the main purpose is for me to be able to take a look at your thesis and give you some feedback on that. And so what I want you to do is basically just tell us what your initial thought is for your thesis statement. Highlight that, please. And then a brief commentary, just some of the things that you're noticing and starting to think about as you are working through this question. What are we to learn about ourselves during times of disruption? I'd really like that initial reply to be posted by 11:59 on Wednesday the 15th. Again, this is so I've got time to give you feedback. But look at the things that I'm saying to other kids too. If there's anything that I share with somebody that you feel is helpful for you too, by all means, I'm inviting you to learn from each other during all of this as well. I do want you to reply to one other person too, just to show that you are interacting and curious about each other's work. And so if you could do that by noon on Thursday, then again, that gives everybody time to consider feedback before the next step. So let's take a look back at our modules. The next thing that you'll work on after this discussion is the project proposal. I think that that's pretty straightforward. So there's a link here. Again, I'll have that on our agenda when you need to worry about it. The introduction I also think is very straightforward. And again, you'll have that on the daily agenda when you should be working on it. I did want to take a moment to talk you through this multi-genre and reasoning document so you know exactly what I'm expecting in terms of what do you do once you're ready to write your first genre. So let's see if I can make this bigger. I don't know if that's still screen sharing. We'll just make this work. So for this part of the project, this is kind of the meat of it that I think will be the most fun and creative for you. I want you to choose 3 different genres that you think best represent your conclusions regarding that research question, right? Like, what are we learning about ourselves during times of disruption? So each genre that you write in should be about a page, depending on your fonts, spacing, creativity. Like, you do not have to adhere to MLA for this part of your project. And I do want you to choose different genres. So if you think back to the overview handout that I gave you, it had categories of different genres, from like persuasive writing to personal writing, to visuals and things like that. So I wouldn't want you to do like all poems or all cartoons or whatever. Try to vary your genres. And if you want to double check with me about your ideas, then that would be fine as well. So once you write out your content, then at the end, I'd like for you to just share your reasoning for why you picked that genre. So each reasoning should be about 75 words. You can write more if you want to. And I just want you to show that you were deliberate in your choices. So like, what information were you really trying to get across in your writing? How does this particular writing reveal a focused answer to your research question? And why do you think that this particular genre would speak to your audience? So the entire project, we'll look at in just a second an example of it. It's over obviously a different topic than COVID-19, but I just wanted you to get an idea of what it will all look like when it's done. So let's do that next. If we click on modules, and then we click on example, you'll see that what you're ultimately turning in is one big document where it's all tied together, even though you will be turning in pieces all along the way. So this page, I do want MLA formatting, and this is where your introduction will go. There's an assignment that explains your introduction. So I'm not going to go through all of this now, but I do have the directions there if that's helpful. Your next page then just jumps right into the genre. This first one is a letter, and then you can see the reasoning underneath that. Then we've got a journal entry, and there's the reasoning there, and then a report card with the reasoning. The format's a little funky because I'm not in the document view, but you'll get the idea. And then there's a conclusion to write where you're kind of doing some reflection. So I would encourage you to take a look at these reasonings if you are feeling a little bit stuck about what I want for that. I think that will be helpful for you. And then last, you will see that there is a conclusion how-to. The rubric shows you how I'm going to grade it. And then where you will submit your final project is right here. And you just need to have that submitted by May 18th at noon. You are welcome to turn it in early if you're ready. The total will be 85 points. And again, I have the rubric listed or linked for you so you can make sure that you know exactly what I'm looking for. But I think that's pretty much it. I am really excited for this opportunity for you guys to be able to get creative, but also demonstrate some of the essential skills of our English 9 writing class. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. It's always best if you can ask me something specific as opposed to, I'm confused, I don't get it, what do I do? Okay, tell me, what have you tried? What do you specifically need help with? Are there things that aren't working for you or whatever. But the more specific your question can be, the better for me. So I hope you guys are doing well, and I look forward to seeing what you come up with.